Hey everyone, welcome to Mountain Beast Mysteries. I was thinking about the legend of the Dzunukwa, which is a really popular legend amongst West Coast indigenous tribes. The Dzunukwa is a Sasquatch-like creature known as the Basket Ogress. She is very creepy in the fact that her thing is that she takes children, misbehaved children, and she walks around with a big woven basket on her back. She has pursed lips, and she's depicted a lot in the indigenous artwork on the west coast of British Columbia. But in these legends of the Dzunukwa, it does seem like a cautionary tale or something that, like a story that would be used to scare children into behaving and not straying too far from home, basically. You know, if a child believes that there's something lurking out there in the wilderness, they're not going to venture out too far. But to me, it's actually so creepy just visualizing what the Dzunukwa would actually look like if you go online and look at renditions of what the Dzunukwa is. Just imagining something like that is super creepy to me. And you could think of it as a cautionary tale, but then you have all the stories about people actually being taken by Bigfoot. The Albert Ostman story from 1924. The Mushalat Harry story, which I think was in the 20s as well, the 1920s. And then a whole bunch of missing 411 cases. All these stories of people vanishing under mysterious circumstances in the wilderness. And, sorry, I'm just looking at some weird lights in the sky right now. Okay. I don't know what that was, but there were some weird lights in the sky. There's 4 of them, and then they just all disappeared. So I don't know if a cloud got in the way, or they actually disappeared. But anyways, missing 411. You have all these stories about people vanishing under these strange circumstances, and where are they? Where do they go? When people get taken, if they are being taken by a Sasquatch-like creature or a Dzunukwa-like creature, are they being taken to a place? Or are they being taken into another dimension, like another reality? Because a lot of them are they're unsolved cases nobody's ever found. Sometimes people are found in places that don't make any sense, like so far away from where they vanished. It's as if some strange force that is, so much more than we could ever understand took them, and reality bent in some weird way to get them in these places, or they were abducted by aliens. I don't really know, but where are these people ending up? There must be a place somewhere that people are vanishing to. I don't know. Can you imagine? When I look at this through the lens that I'm looking at everything with now, like the archetypal convergence lens that I've been talking about. If a person brings about his own Sasquatch experience, and that Sasquatch takes them, they're basically bringing about their own kidnapping, which would be a crazy thing to do. Imagine you are the co-creator of your Sasquatch experience, and you see it, and then you get taken somewhere. Where do you end up? Could you imagine if these people who have been taken are alive somewhere in another dimension? Are they killed? Are they eaten? The Dzunukwa is known to eat children. That's part of the legend. She eats children, and the children sometimes escape through clever means. They'll have a little knife, some sort of tool. They'll cut their way out of her basket, and they'll be able to escape before she's able to cook them up at her, house in the woods somewhere, her little home. And I don't know. It is weird that there's so many missing people, though. And it's you'd think that with so many missing people, they'd have to be somewhere. They would turn up somewhere. I mean, it's easy to get lost in the woods. People get kidnapped by other human beings. People get murdered. People get attacked by animals. People fall off cliffs. But, we do have these stories, like Albert Ostman, like Mushalat Harry, who are taken by Sasquatch creatures, and they end up, in their stories, they end up in like a place out in the woods somewhere, a secluded area where there's a family of Sasquatch, big groups of Sasquatch. Where are these groups? And we don't have stories like this nowadays. We don't get very many stories like that with people coming back to civilization with the story. Where they're able to like tell people what happened. It makes you wonder, are the stories made up? It's hard to say. Today it's just like missing 411 style stories of strange unexplained disappearances, and that's it. You don't know what happened. We don't know about Sasquatch. But back in the day, people were like telling the story. Yeah, like I got taken by Sasquatch, or this guy was taken by Sasquatch. That's what he saw, and was able to escape. Seraphine Long was another indigenous woman who was taken by Sasquatch for years. She was held captive by Sasquatch, family of Sasquatch, and managed to escape. That was in British Columbia, apparently. I wonder if with the changing of human consciousness, the collective consciousness, with it evolving the way it's evolving, it changes the encounters. Like, we have different encounters nowadays than what people used to have. Because back then you'd get all kinds of stories like that, of people being taken and kidnapped, and some making it back to civilization, able to tell the stories, and some not. I just hope that I never have to experience being taken in the middle of the night, being picked up in my sleeping bag and hauled up a mountain somewhere and into another dimension. Yeah, it's interesting though to see the landscape of encounter stories changing as time goes on, as we get further away from the wilderness, further away from nature. The experiences are less tangible, it seems, and a lot more of a mystery. Thousands of missing people in North America, like missing from national forests, national parks. It's like those places are supposed to be protected. I don't know. Like, where are they ending up, and who's taking them? We don't know, and I wonder if we'll ever find out. But just some thoughts I had on the subject as I was thinking about these old legends and the legend of the Dzunukwa. I think it's super creepy. Just visualizing this basket ogress with pursed lips and like just a grotesque beast of a woman lurking around at night in the forest. It's creepy to think about it as an adult. I can't imagine being a child growing up in the wilderness and having to hear those stories. They would have kept me around camp for sure. I would not have drifted off too far. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time on Mountain Beast Mysteries.